Hello, everyone. It's great to be back online and to talk with you guys about a very important topic, which is the upcoming Ashtama Sani for Kadaga Raasi, the Cancer Rasi, um, which is going to be interesting, but this will be like a preliminary or an introductory video. I will make an in-depth version of it, one every year of the 3 years Ashtama Sani, as how I've done it for Mithuna Rasi. And I'll also like to wish you all a very happy Deepavali. It is a very important festival and event in the Hindu culture. It is the day when the planet Earth is the furthest from the sun. And that's the point where we say the sun is actually in a debilitated point, which is in the house of Libra, where Sunny or Saturn actually exalts there. Sun is actually in the opposite. That is the point where Sun is furthest away, with point of reference to the Earth, that is. But the day after Deepavali is the day that the Earth is moving closer to the Sun. So right until the month of Chittare, and that's the Tamil New Year, or various New Years in the Hindu culture. Anyhow, Kadaga Raasi, Astamasani. All right, I'm going to showcase how the chart is going to look like on 18th of January 2023, a few months away, and it'll pop up on the screen now. As you can see, first thing you would notice that the rightmost 4 houses, there are no planets there. So all the planets are actually on the left side of the chart. And you can see the words in the middle of the chart, Anuradha or Anusham. That is the Rasi that the moon would be on the 18th of January. So I put the time here as midnight in Chennai. So the latitude, longitude is in central CBD Chennai, in the upcoming future in January. So you can see that the planet form union, so-called, in the astrological system, we call this as a Graha Malika Yogam. Yogam as in union or configuration. Graha Malika as in a garden. So you can see that from Ketu and Lagnam at the lower end of the chart, you can see that the formation of planets one after the other in individual houses, except for the Sun and Venus in Makaram, and so on, right up till Mars in the Rishabham house. So this is a very good configuration. However, I should warn the Kadagarasi natives, in the sense that the moon is actually in its lowest point at that time. So in the house of Vrichagam is where the moon sort of debilitates. But the plus point is the moon always changes houses once every 2.5 days. So it's not going to be that long. But what I can say is that at the start of your Ashtamasani for Kadagarasi, on the 18th of January itself, it is going to start with a dark note, so to speak. So it won't be pleasant. You are not going to step into Ashtamasani in a very pleasant way. It's going to be shifts and starts. You are going to be pushed into it in a very haphazard way. So you have to be prepared for that, I should say. Another thing is the house of Kadagam itself. It is a water element house. It is Sara Vidu or Saram, as in movable. So it is a very quick flowing water. So the depiction of Kadagam is actually the river Ganges falling into the matlock of Shiva, the god of death and destruction, or the main deity of the Saivite system, whichever doctrine that you follow. But yeah, so fast-moving, flowing water into the matlocks of, or the matted hair of the god Shiva. All right, so in other words, the physical manifestation of the river Ganges is what Kadagam is all about. In fact, any river. But in the doctrine of Hindu system, the Vedic system, we link it to the river Ganges, Ganga. So it is a cool house. It is not a fiery house like Mesham, which is owned by Mars. It is a cool house. People in this Rasi, their body temperament, their physical nature of their body is actually kind of cool. So if you were to touch them, on their shoulder or anywhere, in fact, they won't emanate any heat. They are actually kind of cool-blooded, so to speak. But that's their physical temperament, right? But they're very emotional people, because Kadagam is the house where the owner of the house is the moon, or we call it the planet, but the moon is the natural satellite of the Earth, but we have granted it the status of a planet. Anyhow, it is owned by the moon, and the moon is the only planet in the astrological system which can grow and shrink, right? You can have a Paurnami moon or Amavasa moon and everything in between. So the mind and the mental strength of people that we know around the world is different, right? Some people, they cannot take any kind of a mental stress. Some can really take on hardcore stuff. So it all depends on the structure of the moon when they were actually born. So you would need to check your birth chart, your Rasi chart, and have a look of the placement of the moon and the sun. So that configuration would tell you what phase of the moon was on the day or night that you were born. Anyhow, Kadagam is a representation of mother, maternal instinct, motherly instinct, and our actual mother who brought us into this world, and our mental stature, as I've said, that is the most important. So, Astamasani for Kadagarasi, it is going to be a bit on the massive side. Now, when will it go full force, right? So it depends on the 3 stars of Kumbham. So as you can see in this chart here, Saturn is in the house of Kumbham, or Aquarius in English, and there are 3 stars there, and I will name them in their Sanskrit moniker, which is Avitam, Sadayam, and Purattadi. Avitam has got 2 padams, or it is the broken star, so broken with the 2 parts in the house before that, which is Magaram. And as Shani steps into Kumbham, it goes onto the 3rd and 4th padam of Avitam. Avitam is owned by the planet Mars. So naturally, Saturn and Mars, they are mortal enemies. They don't get along well. And also because Mars is a quick planet, fiery planet. Shani is a slow planet. And in terms of speed, they are in a mismatch. Again, you would have to see what your Laknam is. If you are a Vrichagam or a Mesha Laknam native, you like things to happen quickly, fast, you want quick results. But at the start of your Astamasani, things are going to go slow. Even things like driving, which you shouldn't do quickly. You shouldn't race in your car. You should be careful in terms of crossing the road, in terms of how you navigate in the road, if you are driving or riding a motorbike, whatnot. So accidents are in the cards as well, because Mars, Avitam, owned by Mars, represents accidents, red as in blood and all that. And Avitam's star would dominate for the most of 2023. Now, in April of 2023, in April 2023, 22nd April to be exact, Jupiter, as you can see now, which is quite good for Kadagam natives right up to April. Why is that? Because where Jupiter is now, he is going to look at the 5th, 7th, and 9th house, the drishti of Jupiter. So he will look naturally at your Rasi house, Kadagam itself. So challenges will be there, but you will be given assistance, you will be given help. You can actually manage it. 22nd April, Jupiter moves to the house where Rahu is. So that's where Mesham, that's the house of Mesham. So Jupiter will mix with Rahu, and this would be even better because, okay, and I say this with a pinch of salt. This would be even better because Rahu is actually a negative planet, is the head of the snake and stuff. But from this point, Jupiter and Rahu, Jupiter looks at, again, 5th, 7th, and 9th house. He will look at Simmam, the house of Simmam, which is the second house from your Rasi. And that is the house where Sani is going to look at. And Sani will be looking at that house, Simmam, for the next 3 years, up to 2025, end of 2025. So Guru is looking at the same house that Sani is looking at. Sani, whatever house Sani looks at, he kind of destroys it. And Guru would actually pacify the view of Sani. So in terms of money, in terms of family disputes, family issues, communication skills, so how your words are taken wrongly, it would be there, but it will be dialed down many levels, so you all can manage it, which is good. So Guru would be in the house of Mesham for the most of the year, most of 2023, and another good Payarchi or transit would be the Rahu Ketu Payarchi. So this is a grand transit out of Mesham and going into Meenam. So Rahu goes into Meenam, and Ketu goes into Kanya Rasi, right? So this would be a good move for Kadagarasi natives, right? So what else can Kadagarasi natives expect for the first half of the year? Let's say first half of 2023, right up till June. Again, so this is a very quick run through, and I will give you all a more detailed analysis as we are stepping into the new year. So please bear with me. But the overarching thing that Ashtama Sani does, so it is true for every Ashtama Sani phase, regardless of which Rasi you are, Kadaga Raasi, Rishabha Raasi, Magara Raasi, it's all the same. Ashtama Sani will give you hardship. It is designed to give you hardship. It is designed to make you put down your crown as your ego, so to speak. So it'll give you challenges, but we can be forewarned. We can be a bit more proactive. Right? We can know what is going to happen when. So I mentioned that there are 3 nakshatrams in the house of Kumbham where Saturn is. Avitam, I've already spoken about, is owned by Mars. The next one is Sadayam, and that is Rahu's nakshatram or Rahu's star. So you would need to take a look at the placement of Rahu in your birth chart when you were born. So have a look. For those who have Rahu and the moon in Kadagam itself, that means you were born at a partial lunar eclipse at the time of your birth. When Sani or Saturn is actually moving across the 4 padams of Sadayam, that'll happen in 2024, and part of 2025, the first 2 months of 2025. So when Shani is moving over Sadayam, a star owned by Rahu, and if your Rahu happened to be in Kadagam or in Simha, either of these houses, but particularly in close proximity to the moon, that would be a heightened sense of nervousness. You would be having dark thoughts, and they are not actually real. It's just manifestation running on overdrive, right? Magnifying itself, and it can spin out of control if you're not careful, and you would be repeating the cycle and hurting mostly everyone around you with your talk and your mindset. And Ashtama Sani, again, what is the purpose? It's actually to give you a very challenged mindset, a defeated mindset. More so for Kadaga Raasi, and more so if Rahu is next to your moon, and if your moon happened to be an Amavasa moon, that will be even more challenging. Versus Rahu next to a moon, which is a Purnami moon, right? So a million combinations in astrological system, right? There is no one answer for everyone. But now we're talking about Katagarasi. House owner is the moon itself. So definitely Shani and the moon, right? They are in Shastashtagam, in their natural placement in the Kala Chakram, right? From Kumbham to Kadagam is 6 houses. From Kadagam to Kumbham, the other way is 8 houses. So 6, 8, Shastashtagam. In the astrological system, 6, 8, and then sometimes I say 12. So 6 and 8 is Dushtana houses, or Dursh means falling down, right? So they're not good. They are best to be avoided. But Shani and Sandaran, or the moon, naturally take the 6 and 8 spots between each other. So they are mortal enemies, right? The moon doesn't consider Saturn as his enemy, because the moon is the mother, Saturn is the son, or the illegitimate son, as you follow the legends of the astrological system. The moon taking on the form of Chaya Devi, and seducing the father with his Suryan and all that, and the child born out of wedlock is actually Shani, and all that stories. It's just to show that Shani's mortal enemies, or Saturn's mortal enemies, are the sun and the moon. They don't get along. And that is naturally what's going to happen. Ashtama Sani for the house owned by the moon is going to be challenging. So again, have a look at your Rahu, and let's talk about the next 3 padams of the next star, which is Puratadi. Puratadi is owned by Jupiter, right? It's one of Jupiter's better stars, right? Because it has one of the padams in its own house. So 4th padam is in Meenam, owned by Jupiter. But first 3 padam is in Kumbham, owned by Saturn. Jupiter and Saturn, they are neutral to each other. They don't love or hate each other. They just tolerate, right? They don't mind each other's presence, so to speak. So Shani going over to Puratadi's padam, the Puratadi star. That will happen in 2025, and naturally you would have challenges with children. Any signification of Jupiter, excuse me, would be put to the test. So Jupiter's number one aspect is income, or gold, and children, and food, right? Knowledge, right? So inherent knowledge that you are born with, like if you are naturally good in mathematics when you were born, that would be challenged, right? So the intrinsic knowledge, not the book knowledge that is owned by Mercury. So any star owned by Mercury, if that is the case, so you won't be reading any books at that time. But We're talking about intrinsic knowledge, as in jnanam, right? Jnana shastra, jnanam, as when you were brought on, will be put to the test, so to speak. So the house of Kumbham itself, let's talk about its element. It's the air element, right? It's a Siram house. Siram means it's fixed, it's like grounded. So it's a dense air, not moving kind of air. It's a thick air just falling into the room, like kind of like in a warehouse, right? So if you haven't gone into a warehouse in a storage facility that you work in, for example, if you open the warehouse after 2 months of no one else going into it, and you can imagine how musty the air would be, and that is the representation of Kumbham. And Sani loves that kind of environment because it's unmoving air, immobile air, thick and dense. Sani, as the planet Saturn itself, is a gaseous planet, thick, dense, moving slowly. So the house of Kumbham is Sani's own element. He's very comfortable there. Hence, he will give his full manifestation. And what are Sani's manifestation? Where slowness, he will hit you at your knees. Again, I have said this many times over in other videos, but I think it demands that repetition anyway, which is good. So Sani is challenges. Sani is slow. Sani is iron, as in the iron count in your blood. Have a test now, guys, and have a blood test again after January, February, March at the start of your Astamasani. Right? Have a look at your iron count from now versus then. Just do a comparison. So Sani is slow moving. He will hit you at the knees. He is darkness, so you'll be more awake. Excuse me, more awake at night than at day. Right? You prefer the night. Right? You like to pull the blanket now all the way over your head. Right? So darkness pleases you versus the daytime. And yeah, so basically where Sani is going to sit and look at, from Kumbham looking at your second house from Kadagam, which is Simmam, right? Income, family, speech, confidence, your outlook of life. It's going to be very dim, in fact, but don't be dismayed. This is a temporary thing. Right? I know 3 years is a long time. I get it. At least there is a time when it's going to end. At least we know it's going to end, and not. I mean, knowing that it is not going to end, that is something else. But it'll end for you guys, and there would be moments where Sani goes in retrograde. Again, I will talk about it when the time comes. So when Sani goes retrograde, or when he goes to the next house or the house before, so you will have a temporary relief, and we will look at that as the time comes. So again, Sani is in his element. The moon is going to go around a full 12 house cycle every 30 days, or every 30 lunar days, which is 1 lunar month. Sani is going to sit in Kumbham for the next 3 years, and it's in its element. It's going to do its full force of challenging manifestation. Again, look at what the Dasa Bhukti that you're running. Are you running a Jupiter and Ketu time, right? Or Ketu and Jupiter time, and you're running Astamasani, you will be drawn into spirituality. You will meet your spiritual guru. You will be doing a lot of meditation, meaning that, now that is one part of it, which seems good, but the other part of it is meaning that you would most likely lose your job, lose your family linkage, or maybe they leave you, or you have been thrown into an overseas office where you have to work for the next 1 year, 2 years, and you cannot come back. So you are isolated like Sani, and Sani likes isolation. Sani is the Karagan for isolation, like jail, prison, being bound into the bed because you are sick. So definitely sickness is Sani's aspect. Um, and loss of job. So if you have no income, you cannot go out. You are bound into your home. So sickness, imprisonment, loss of job. So this is what Sani will give you. So in one way, I say Jupiter and Ketu time, you would be drawn into spiritual life. You'll be meditating, you'll be doing dhyanam, sadhanas, and all that. But the other side of the coin says that in order to do that, in order for you to be pushed into the spiritual life, you would have to lose your sight on the material life. You will lose sight of income capabilities, you will lose your job, your business, your family life, um, your confidence, or you seek the backing up of God or the universe. All right. So, in order for something to happen, something else must be sacrificed. So, that is the law of the universe, right? And again, it's a very temporary thing. But we will cross that bridge when we get there. Again, this video, this channel is actually designed for support, to give you a sense of light, Jyoti. That's why we're doing Jyotisham, to give you a sense of belief and confidence that you can get through it. And again, please leave your comments, your views, help each other. I see that some of y'all are doing that well. Y'all are having a conversation in the comment section. Very welcome to do that. I encourage that. I welcome that. Again, I will post the detailed videos, several videos on Kadagam and its Astamasani elements over the next few months and years as we go through it. So God bless everyone. You take care, and I will see you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.